Look at this thermometer. The mercury is sitting firmly below -50 degrees Celsius. In the coldest inhabited village on Earth, temperatures drop so low that when you breathe out, you can actually hear the moisture in your breath freezing into ice crystals, sounding like dry grass rustling in the air. In conditions this extreme, staying outside for just 15 minutes is enough time for blood vessels in exposed skin to shrink. The water inside individual human cells freezes, causing jagged ice crystals to form and rupture the tissue, leading to severe frostbite. Stepping outside from a comfortable 30-degree home means plunging straight into an outdoor reality that can plummet past -70 degrees. That is a brutal 100-degree drop, delivering a violent flash-freezing shock to the human body. To survive that transition, residents wear up to 20 individual layers of clothing. They wrap themselves in boots, pants, and heavy coats made entirely from reindeer fur, carrying an extra 14 kilos of weight just to walk out their front door. When biology shuts down and metal turns rigid, existing in this village requires constant engineering. We are going to look at exactly how an entire community builds their infrastructure and organizes their daily lives to outlast the harshest winter environment on the planet. This is a deep layer of permafrost. You can see the solid wall of ice extending directly into the soil. Because the earth beneath Oymyakon remains completely frozen hundreds of meters down all year round, pouring a standard concrete foundation is impossible. Instead, builders use a highly specific structural workaround. They construct a flat wooden base using thick beams that sit directly over the frozen earth. The actual house rests on top of this framework, which creates a gap that stops the building's heat from melting the icy ground beneath it and causing the entire structure to sink. To trap that heat, every wall is constructed from 7 distinct layers of material. Wood on the outside protects a thick core of basalt wool insulation, followed by alternating barriers of plaster, mesh, foam, and interior wooden panels, all sealed in tightly by triple-glazed windows. You can see the result of that massive heating effort. A single coal-powered boiler runs non-stop, pumping heat through heavily insulated above-ground pipes to nearly every home in the village. A failure in this heating system puts everyone at immediate risk. The buildings here operate strictly as high-stakes quarantine zones, maintaining a fragile thermal barrier that separates the residents from freezing. The extreme temperatures also eliminate any possibility of traditional indoor plumbing. If standard water pipes were installed, the static water inside would freeze almost instantly, expanding and causing the metal to burst. For fresh water, locals must travel to a specific unfrozen river spring fed by fast-moving underground currents. There, they use hand chisels to carve out massive solid blocks of river ice. They load these heavy blocks onto sleds and haul them back to the village. When it is time to drink or bathe, residents bring the ice chunks inside and place them in large barrels near the stove, waiting hours for them to melt down into a usable liquid. This lack of plumbing extends directly to sanitation. You can see this outhouse door is covered in a thick layer of animal fur. Residents must use these unheated wooden cabins located out in their yards, exposing themselves to the freezing air every time they need to use the toilet. Without automated infrastructure, simple daily routines like getting a drink of water or using the restroom require immense physical effort and constant exposure to the lethal outdoor environment. Securing food follows similar harsh rules. Because crops cannot grow in frozen soil, locals obtain their essential vitamins eating a diet heavy in raw, frozen fish and horse meat. Looking at these Yakutian horses, you can see how they are built to survive outside at -70 degrees without shelter. They rely on their short, fat-rich bodies and dense fur to minimize the surface area where body heat can escape. But human machinery lacks those natural adaptations. If a modern vehicle is left outside with its engine off, the motor oil, the battery, and even the diesel fuel in the tank will freeze solid in a matter of hours. Starting a frozen car requires wrapping the vehicle tightly in thermal blankets and blasting the engine block with jet heaters. It takes 3 to 4 hours of continuous heating just to thaw the mechanics enough to turn the key. Whether there's a grazing horse or a diesel engine, biology and machinery face the exact same physical reality. They require continuous thermal maintenance, or they permanently shut down. For the local hunters who navigate the frozen forests outside the village, survival boils down to a strict law of physics. Constant movement generates heat, and remaining stationary means death. The Yakut people in this environment operate under a deeply rooted shamanic mindset. They do not view themselves as conquerors fighting against the elements, but as subjects who must strictly adhere to the rules of the ice. This belief system requires them to actively give back. By offering small portions of their fresh catches to the spirits of the forest, they maintain a deep respect for a landscape capable of killing them instantly. The daily reality of Oymyakon proves that humans can adapt to incredibly severe conditions. Living here requires mastering a delicate balance of continuous heat generation, eating high-calorie diets, and relentless physical labor to achieve a lasting coexistence with the cold.